What's up, everyone? I am here in my favorite chair, my reading chair. I want to take you back to about 10 years ago and share a moment with you. It was August. There was the smell of truffle in the air and the aromas of red wine, sage, and rosemary. And I was about to close the restaurant. Benny Bernanke's trumpet was still vibrating in my ear from the live jazz, and I was winding down and about to turn the lock on the door to lock the door for the restaurant. I had closed the restaurant, and it had been a long day, 14-hour day. And I remember thinking how nice it would be to wind down. And I got to the door, and I was just about to turn the lock, and lo and behold, the owner, Jay, and two ladies behind him enter the door. And so I locked the door behind him, and Jay heads straight back to the kitchen. And the two ladies enter, and he pointed at the jukebox and said, "Let's get it on!" And I remember thinking, OMG, all I want to do is just relax and wind down. So I headed to the powder room to splash water on my face. Upon exiting from the restroom, Jay is on the bar with a big 3-foot saber and a bottle of champagne. This was a trick that I had taught him about a week ago, and I remember telling him that it was for special occasions. 3 o'clock in the morning after drinking, after a long day, special occasion. This was not, I remember thinking. I really just wanted to wind down. So I went to the corner of the bar, and I sat down by myself, and I remember holding my head in my hands, thinking, what do I do? He's my boss. What do I do? And how did I get here? How did I get to this spot, this space? And just then, one of the ladies, she was super sweet, and she came up and she nudged me and she said, "What's your name?" And I thought to myself, I had dealt with this superficiality and serving people and the clanging dishes all day long. I remember retorting irresponsibly. I remember saying, "Brad." And she said, "What do you do, Brad?" And I just thought to myself, I don't have it in me to continue this. And so I responded in pure ego. I said, "Apparently you don't know who I am." And she, without even hesitation, you know those moments where the clock stops? It just stops ticking. Those moments where 30 seconds seems like an eternity, where the jukebox stops playing and people start staring and they're waiting for wit. She said, "So who are you?" And in that moment, I didn't have an answer. Who was I? I had built multiple companies. I was a wine director. I had run multiple restaurants. I ordered wine for multiple thousands of dollars. I had run multi-million-dollar companies. But who was I? Who was I really? How did I get here? Who am I? I remember thinking, this is embarrassing. How do I not have an answer for this? Everyone was waiting for wit, and I had been told many times that I had a silver tongue, but that silver tongue was no longer there. It had been ripped from my chest. The cat had not only got my tongue, but I feel like he ripped it right out of my mouth. Who was I? Who am I? I remember thinking to myself, I didn't have an answer. I remember laughing just to get the moment going again and get the jukebox playing, and they just laughed it off. They looked at me confused and walked away, and they began to dance. And I remember thinking, I need to excuse myself. I'm embarrassed. This is a fearful moment. What is going on? And on the jukebox, who's playing but The Who? This moment can't be real. This isn't possible. This has to be a dream. I did excuse myself, and I walked home, and I didn't sleep that night. That was a game changer for me. Who am I? Kept ringing in my ear like an owl. Who are you? Did I really not have an answer? That began a journey of 10 years for me where I began to read books and talk to people and seek and search. But I really didn't have an answer to who I was. I began to study beliefs and purposes and values and leadership. It was a long journey for me. It's a continuing journey. It's a beautiful journey. But my question for you tonight is, who are you? Has anyone ever asked you that question? Who are you? Thanks for sharing a moment with me. I love you all. Love to connect with you all. Live lightly, shine brightly.